Okay, before you click away, I want you to ask yourself a quick question. If I handed you $1 billion right now, you'd know exactly where it went, right? Now try to imagine losing track of $11 billion. I mean, it doesn't just slip between the couch cushions. It takes a highly deliberate, calculated illusion to make that kind of money just vanish into thin air. $11 billion. Yeah, that is the literal staggering scale of the accounting fraud committed by WorldCom. And here's the reality check for us. When we look at corporate financial statements, we aren't just looking at math. Sometimes we're actually looking at massive, incredibly complex financial crime scenes. The numbers are the evidence, and today we are going to learn exactly how to read them.
Welcome to This Explainer. I am seriously thrilled you're here. Today, we're going on a bit of a true crime investigative journey. But our weapons of choice aren't magnifying glasses or fingerprint powder, they are balance sheets, cash flows, and forensic accounting tools. We're going to decode the secrets that executives desperately tried to bury in the fine print. Okay, let's dive into this.
All right, let's jump right into Section 1, the billion-dollar illusions, the biggest financial crime scenes in history.
So, to really understand how to catch a financial fraudster, we first have to grasp the sheer scale of their illusions. Historical corporate collapses are rarely just the result of some bad luck or a sudden market downturn. They're almost always the result of deliberate, highly sophisticated manipulations. And what's really wild here is the sheer audacity of these cases. Take Enron, led by Jeffrey Skilling, hiding billions in debt in off-the-books partnerships using super aggressive mark-to-market accounting. Then you've got WorldCom, where CEO Bernard Ebbers oversaw a scheme to reclassify $11 billion of everyday expenses just to make the company look profitable. And then there's Satyam, under Ramalinga Raju, who just outright fabricated a $1 billion cash balance. You see, these weren't simple accounting errors. They were actual masterpieces of deception orchestrated by top executives.
Moving on to Section 2, how they cook the books, the modus operandi of financial manipulation. So how exactly do they pull this off? Well, I promise to translate the dense accounting jargon from our sources into plain English so we can really see what's happening behind closed doors. The crucial point here is that the actual rules of accounting, like GAAP and international financial reporting standards, actually require flexibility. Companies have to make estimates. But as the research points out, this totally necessary flexibility opens the door to the financial numbers game. Executives start by aggressively choosing accounting methods just to shape their financial reality to meet Wall Street's expectations. And eventually, that aggressive practice crosses an invisible line into outright, deliberate fraud. WorldCom is actually a perfect example of this. Think about it like a metaphor. Imagine taking all your daily credit card bills, your groceries, your gas, your phone bill, and instead of paying them off, you tell the bank, actually, these are long-term investments in my future, kind of like mortgage. You'd suddenly look like you had a lot more cash on hand. Well, that's exactly what WorldCom did. They took their daily operating expenses, specifically the line costs they paid to lease telecom networks, and falsely classified them as long-term capital expenditures. This artificially inflated their net income, completely deceiving investors and analysts alike. But hey, sometimes the deception isn't even about finding clever accounting loopholes. Sometimes it's just raw, blatant fabrication. Just look at the Satyam scandal. They didn't just reclassify expenses, they literally invented money. They fabricated bank statements, they created thousands of fake invoices, and conjured a staggering $1 billion cash balance entirely out of thin air. It's a pretty stark reminder that while regulations definitely exist to ensure market stability, completely bypassing them with forged documents is a massive risk that impartial watchdogs always have to look out for.
Okay, Section 3, the Forensic Detective Toolkit, how the experts catch the fraudsters.
So when the numbers just stop making sense and the illusion finally starts to crack, who exactly do you call? Well, enter the heroes of our true crime story, the forensic accountants. Forensic accounting is basically where traditional accounting meets investigative journalism and law enforcement. A forensic accountant is a financial detective. They don't just look to see if the math adds up, they look way beyond the surface numbers with a mindset of professional skepticism. They go in assuming that a material misstatement could be present, regardless of how honest management might appear to be.
And here are the exact steps these experts take. First up, they analyze accruals and cash flows, which is basically checking if the company is actually generating real cash or just generating paper profits. Second, they run complex quantitative models like the Benford M-score. And third, they dive incredibly deep into the textual footnotes. Modern detectives are also deploying artificial intelligence and data analytics to flag hidden inconsistencies in unstructured data much, much faster than a human ever could. I absolutely love this quote from the research. Read the footnotes. The footnotes may not reveal everything you should know, but if you don't read them, you can't hope to find out. The real story is literally hiding in the fine print. Oh, and by the way, if you're finding this explainer valuable and you want to learn how to protect your own portfolio from these kinds of corporate tricks, please smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. It really, really helps us bring more of these deep dive analyses directly to you. All right, Section 4, Spotting the Red Flags, Empowering the Everyday Investor. Let's get right into the practical stuff. You definitely don't need a PhD in finance to spot a corporate disaster brewing. So let's empower you, the everyday investor watching this, with the actionable red flags you can look for right now. This one here is the ultimate red flag, and it's honestly one of the most reliable early warning signs of fraud. If a company's reported net income, their profit, keeps going up and up, but their actual cash from operations is flat or completely negative, huge alarm bells should be ringing. It means their earnings are being driven by accruals, paper accounting adjustments, and not by actual cash being generated by the business itself.
To really prove this point, let's look at a true historical artifact: Enron's actual free cash flow data from 1997 to 2000. While Wall Street was busy celebrating Enron's massive reported profits and astronomical growth, just look at the bottom line for those years: negative $1.9 billion, negative $2.3 billion, negative $2.2 billion. The red ink was literally right there in the public filings. The cash simply did not exist to back up the incredible story management was telling. Aside from cash flow, there are a few other common-sense early warning signals you should definitely scan for. For instance, if a company's accounts receivable, which is money owed by customers, is growing way faster than their actual sales, it might mean they're booking fake revenue, also known as channel stuffing. If their profit margins suddenly expand, but their underlying costs haven't changed at all, you should absolutely be skeptical. And if management frequently changes their accounting estimates or policies, well, that is the equivalent of a magician trying to distract you with smoke and mirrors. Now, for the more mathematically inclined folks out there, we have the Benford M-score. This is a brilliant 8-variable statistical model that measures things like the quality of assets and the growth of receivables. It serves as a super powerful quantitative screen. Before you even read a single word of the management's narrative, you can plug in the numbers, and if the M-score is greater than negative 1.78, you instantly know there's a high risk of earnings manipulation. Finally, we arrive at Section 5. Protecting your investments, the verdict on corporate transparency. So let's synthesize all of this into a final verdict. How do you protect yourself from becoming collateral damage in the next massive financial crime scene? It really all comes down to this detective's checklist. You absolutely have the power to spot these illusions. Never take management's explanations purely at face value. Always cross-check the reported income with the actual cash flow. Dedicate the time to read the footnotes and the management discussion. Keep a close eye out if a company suddenly fires its auditor without a clear, logical reason. And always, always look for complex off-balance sheet entities, because those are the exact things that brought Enron down. We've seen exactly how these rules are bent, broken, and eventually pieced back together by forensic detectives. But this leaves us with a pretty massive question. With the rapid rise of AI and stricter global regulations, do you think financial fraud will finally be stopped? Or is the next Enron already hiding in plain sight in today's markets? I really want to hear what you guys think. Drop a comment below and let me know which of these corporate scandals surprised you the most to learn about today, or if there's a specific one you think we should cover next. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Stay skeptical, always keep reading those footnotes, and I'll catch you in the next one.